Hello, Soul Family. Welcome back to another session of Internal Consciousness with Brett Lawson. I would just like to express to you my appreciation, first of all, for you being here with me for this session. It is really something that is an impact and an encouragement, not only for me, but also for the viewers. I would just like to just continue to expound upon the subject of the day, which is letting not know be in your belief system. When you're a conscious creator of source, no does not exist. Everything is yes. Yes, meaning that you are a intentional creator of the fifth dimension in life in your conscious way of belief. Realizing that you are the creator of your experience in life. And in that, knowing that no weapon that is ever forged against your experience will prevail. Case in point, when people give you lemons, you transmute it into thirst quenching lemonade and realize that you are a transmutator of everything that is negative in your life. You don't have to allow negativity to dictate to you who you are, but realize through understanding the pure positive aspects of your essence in life, you create that experience for you. Knowing that you need no validation from anyone except your intuition, your inner being, your subconscious, meaning source, meaning God, realizing that everything that you need, you already have inside of you. There is no need to seek for validation outside of what you have experienced inside of your life. Case in point, when people say that you can't do this or that, go inside and realize that inside it says that you can do all things, which inspires you. And as you get inspiration from the inside of you, things begin to change. Life is good as long as you understand the concept of why you're here. And the whole concept of why one is here to do that purpose in which Source has created you to bring into fruition. Your purpose is to bring the express image of who has created you to the forefront of your experience. Remember, we are non-physical beings experiencing a physical life, or shall I say experience. We don't have to wait for the expositors, or you've heard people say, I got to wait for a sign before I can move upon this or that. When you know that you're a deliberate creator, you don't have to wait for a sign because you are the sign. You actually just move with the flow of what Source has impressed upon your person to do. You don't have to wait for some type of sign from quote unquote heaven for you to speak to this particular person, or wait for you see the head of a nickel if you walk through. All these superstitious things that we try to use to encourage us or to give us boldness in speaking what we know is already in us to speak upon, you see. Um, Me, myself, I have actually gotten to the point to where I know that source is me and I'm source. And so I move in that rhythm, the beat of my own drum. Uh, I don't wait for to see a sign, because I am the sign. The sign is me, and uh, me is the sign. The same way he told Moses, he said that I am that I am. And what's understood doesn't need to be explained. When God told Moses he is that he is, in layman terms, what he's saying is he's everything. He's whatever Moses want him to be. He's the parting of the Red Sea. He's the fire and the bush that burnt by the fire. He's the manna that came down and fed the children in the wilderness. He's everything, you see. And we are to emit that person while we are experiencing this physical life here in the natural plane. Remember, this body is an avatar for the non-spiritual. Non-spiritual analogy meaning that you have already existed before you came into this natural realm where you can see, smell, hear, and touch. You already existed because the analogy of the true essence of you is spirit, which is interpreted energy. And you cannot kill energy. You cannot kill energy at all. As a result of that, realize that we are eternal beings. We are beings that causes things to manifest in our lives as a result of what we realize and feel energetically. And when we realize and feel energetically what we want to bring into fruition in our existence, meaning our experience, we go for that. And we bring it into the manifestation of the experience in which we live. Case in point, I live in a place of utopia. And the utopia understanding comes from me. I have no need of worry. I have no need of over compulsion or overthinking. Everything that I do is for purpose. Me imagining what I want to get done in life, it manifests instantly. Case in point, I'm a fisherman, and I love to fish. And I was meditating in my inner being about wanting to find a catfish fishing pond on my property. And Source began to wake me up 2 and 3 in the morning and began to walk with my shoes off on the roads, which are created with what we call sugar sand. And so I took my shoes off and I walk, and my road is probably about a mile up from my front door up to the main road. And I take my shoes off and I walk through that sugar sand, not playing the radio, not listening to any social media, but just being open to Source, being open to my Creator, my divine being. And I was getting downloads, and my 4 animals, my 3 dogs. I have a Pomeranian, a long-haired Chihuahua, and a red-nosed pit bull. And I have a cat named Felix. And they all love to walk with me on down that sugar sand road. And so we were all walking, the cat playing with the dog. They're just happy. And Source led me to this property that has a catfish pond in the back of it. With me having my shoes off, I couldn't walk down to the pond because it was gravel. But he showed me where I could catch my favorite fish. So the next day I went down there, and as soon as I threw the line in, there was a 2-pound catfish on the line. And I'm saying all that to say that it doesn't take a audience or you being forthright of telling what you want Source to do. All you got to do is commission it to him, and the universe brings it to you. I didn't go running saying, oh, I found this catfishing pond and all of this. I was just elated that the fact that I was able to communicate with the universe, and the universe revealed a catfish pond to me. And so now, I'm happy. I can go to that catfish pond and fish all day long and catch my favorite fish. It's just simplified things like that makes life great for me, you see. In that, it lets me know that I control the energy that is in my life. And everything is energy. Money is energy, you see. Prosperity and wealth is energy. Health is energy. Everything is energy. So if I can control the energy of creating a catfish pond, surely I can control the energy of bringing fiat into my life, you see. And being able to be worry-free because, again, cash flow, living here in this natural experience, if my cash flow is consistent, I have no need to worry or doubt of any sort. And I am constantly pursuing that energy radius in my life. I am getting downloads each and every day concerning what I need to do in order to bring in lucre, fiat, money, you see, in a pure positive way, you see, a pure positive, ethical way of life, not nothing negative. I've been there, done that, got plaques on the wall for it. And me and negativity just doesn't strive together good. It's always repercussions when I strive in negativity, And I've learned that the only way I can really flow in life is to flow in pure positive consciousness, you see. Because I can lay my head down at night and dream peacefully of a better, pure positive day. Instead of indulging into negativity, low vibrational things, and then laying my head down and allowing those low vibrational things to bombard my night visions with all type of negativity. Because whatever you put into the universe, that is what you get back, contrary to popular belief, you see. Me and a friend of mine were speaking earlier in the terms of negativity. Myself, I have relinquished all of me trying to prove to somebody who I am. If somebody come at you in a way that doesn't strive or feel right in the vibrational sense, it's no sense in you trying to prove validation to that person, because that person has a valid opinion of why they reacting that way. So when you see two people arguing, you're actually seeing a third density response, or shall I say, a egocentric response to the 3D. There are two people who has two different opinions trying to prove a point to one another because both of them think that they're right. Instead, what I have learned is allow a person to be who they are without me having to prove who I am to them in verbal contents or context, but realizing that through my positive response, it alleviates any tension that would have occurred if I would have tried to prove my point in the midst of the heated conversation. You see, when you hear people say, oh, you tried me, oh, you disrespected me, oh, I didn't feel good when you said this and that to me, really, it is not that person's responsibility to treat you the way you want to be treated. It is up to the individual to know who they are and therefore respond in that aspect and that aspect alone how they should be respected. When you respect oneself, respect is received. It's received. It's called actually you understanding the concept of who you are, you see, and realizing in that you have no need for validation from anyone else. As long as you know who you are in life, then that's all you need. That's all you need to go on. You don't have to try to prove your point to anybody. That's fruitless, you know. Actually, it's being insecure because it's saying, wait a minute, man, you can't talk to me like that. I don't talk to you like that. But what point does that make? What are you trying to you're trying to convert or tell another person how to think? And how's that working? That's why arguments continue to linger, because two people are digging in trying to prove their point. Instead, realize this, that if you go with the flow of whatever the universe has put in front of you, without the concept of, oh, he's treating me like I'm a mark, or I'm weak, or, I'm less of. Without those concepts, everything works out for your favor. Why? Because it's an old cliche. It takes two to tangle. It takes two to have a argument, a conversation, you see? And so in that sense, you do not have to try to get validation from anybody except your inner being, you see. And your inner being is God. How we're in the likeness of God is by the love that we emit from our person. How we are in the express image of God is by our attitude, our person, not taking on a 3D type mentality. Oh, I gotta show him, man, he's playing me weak. He's treating me like I'm less than. Who cares about that? Except those that are trying to compete with others that think that way. Me, myself, I've relinquished all of that because it's not warranted for my life. My focus in my life now is on my kids, my beautiful essence, my grandkids, those that I know will carry on my name. You see, the joy of life, the beautiful waterfalls that you see behind me, traveling, enjoying life, pure positive energy. I didn't come into this physical plane from the non-physical to focus in on low vibrational concepts. Case in point, the devil this and the devil that. Oh, the devil's on my back. I could care less about even giving tribute to that type of nonsense because it's not necessary. It's a waste of energy. We were created through pure positive energy. And in order to stay on a pure positive concept in life, you must intentionally do it by intentionally staying pure positive in your thoughts. You see, don't allow nothing to be an excuse for you to go into a low vibrational concept in your life. Because low vibrational is actually immaturity, okay? It's you being stuck in your adolescent life in your mental state. You're still responding the way you responded when you were in your teens and your early 20s. Once you understand that no one can make you feel no kind of way except you, you'll come off from among that type of mentality and begin to seek a pure, positive, conscious way of thinking. Life is good. And when I say life is good because I intentionally believe it is. I believe that the way I see my experience in life creates my environment. It's my ball, it's my bat, my backyard. And I'm playing this game called life until I hit multiple home runs, you see. There is no such thing as no where I am now. All doors are open. Everything is YES for my life. And I can only talk from my own experience. In my life, there is only yes. For whatever, it is yes. Why? Because the concept of fear doesn't exist. And it damn sure doesn't exist in the concept of death. I understand that there is no such thing. I understand that I am an eternal being, trusting and knowing who I am because I came into this avatar called Brett Darren Lawson to experience a life filled with adventure. Positive adventure, you see. Realizing that whatever I want in life, I can have by the way I believe. If I'm sick, I can be healed by the way I see myself in my inner being healed. If I'm in poverty, I can become rich because I see it in my inner vision, in my purpose in life, my imagination, me being rich. It comes to the forefront of the natural experience in which you see me now here on this screen. You see. If I'm lacking not being happy, I go inside of my intuition and imagine me being happy. You see, each and every single second of my life, I imagine me being happy, and happiness must come to the forefront of my experience. Life is what you believe it is. And as you understand these principles, you will begin to be catapulted into where you want to be. And everything that I'm saying is factual. Because who wants to be sad? Who wants to be sick? Who wants to be poor? I don't know anybody that wants those things. So when you look at it in that aspect of life, realize that if you believe
that you can have better and not look for any outside validation or applause and focus in on that, it is inevitable to come to your being, your experience. It's inevitable. It has to happen. I don't care who says that you need to do it another way. Stay focused on what you have envisioned in your life. Case in point, when people tell you you can't do it, it shouldn't be a negative or a down type trot of response. It should be something as, wow, I mean that much to that person that he had a negative input to say that I can't do it. I must be some kind of threat. Or it must be some type of jealousy involved to where they know that they see something in me that I probably don't even see yet. Look at everything in a positive aspect. When people deal you lemons, create lemonade, something thirst quenching in your experience. When people tell you you can't do that, it's not done that way, this not normally done that way, look at it. You don't have to try to rebuttal against it, but just realize in your inner being saying, okay, I see what's going on, and it's okay. And you don't have to voice your opinion on, well, I'm going to do it this way because it's the way I want to do it. No, you don't have to do that. Everything is done in the inside. All you got to do is look at that person and say, okay, no problem. How do you want to do it? It's okay. Because I'm going to go with the flow of what the universe has put in front of me. See, everything is God. Even that person that's telling you it can't be done a certain way. God is allowing that, but you have to see and be mature enough to respect the universe in that person instead of putting up a rejection or a wall to say, hell no, I ain't doing it that way. You can't tell me. When you go with the flow of what the universe has put before you, everything works out. Why? Here's one key reason. Because you love yourself. You love yourself enough not to disrespect yourself in saying that you know everything. This is a learning process concerning the physical. It is not by coincidence that we call it university. We call it universe. It's a word from university. And everybody know university is where you learn. Universe is where you learn. We're learning to be alchemists. We're learning to be creators here in the physical. And however rule of thumb that you learn from is your rule of thumb. There is no set platform of how you learn in the universe. Wherever your belief system and learning is, that's where you're going to learn from. You see. The man that's got the bucket that's coming up to your door every time you stop and get off that exit, that's his learning platform. You see. The prostitute that basically solicits you, that's her learning platform. There is no rule of thumb as far as us being beings of how we're to learn. And once you get that traditional flawed premise out of your paradigm of thinking, you're on your way to being a deliberate creator. You see. And everything works out for your good. Why? Because you love. Love what? You are the express image of Source, meaning God. That's why you're here, you see. And by you expressing, or shall I say, emitting the love of the Creator in your experience, you are bringing into your fruition what you want to see happen in life. So, family, this is something that we must understand as we continue to sojourn into this adventure we call life. Life is what we make it. Life is what we believe it is. Source is in everything. He's in this table, he's in this bell, he's in this mic. He's in everything. Because he's energy. We like to try to equate him as being a person. And you can to a certain extent, but energy actually supersedes person. He's finite. He's omnipotent. He's omnipresent everywhere at the same time. And he feels every crevice of life, even one-cell organisms. So when you begin to be aware that you are the same as who created you, you are not being withheld from anything that he is about. You're a very integral, important part of life. Healing is no problem. All your loved ones can be healed for whatever, as long as you are aware of your surroundings, of who you are. I don't care if it's cancer. I don't care if it's AIDS. I don't care if it's an unknown disease. If you know who you are, with being one with the omni-total presence that created this whole cosmos, this whole existence, there is nothing that cannot be solved or fixed. Case in point, last winter, my dog, Roxy, flatlined. She was laying in front of my generator. When I first moved on the property, I lived in a tent, and I had a generator lighting, giving me power. And Roxy would sleep in front of the generator to stay warm because it gave off heat in the exhaust system. Well, Roxy got carbon monoxide poisoning. And she died. She actually died. I looked at her and she was stiff as a board. I immediately went into my intuition, into my third eye impression, and I picked Roxy up, and Roxy was defecating on her just like any being would do when they make their transition. They start releasing waste. And I picked her up and brought her and tucked her into the trailer. And I heard my intuition say, take the air mattress blower that you blow the air mattress up with, Brett, and put it in front of her nostril, in front of her snout, and keep it there. And I would lift Roxy's head up. It would just fall back to the ground. But I kept putting that air mattress blower to her nostrils. And about 15 minutes went past, and Roxy came back and started moving and having activity, you know. Had I not been in tuned to my full surroundings without the spirit of fear, without the spirit of intimidation or poor self-image or lack of, Roxy would have made her transition. But I didn't get discombobulated when my dog flatlined. I went into my inner being and got the knowledge that only my subconscious knows because it created the whole universe, meaning Roxy, to bring Roxy back into full function. Roxy now walking down the trail 2, 3 o'clock in the morning with me, wagging her tail, happy. And this dog had died, literally died. But because I didn't freak out, she lives today. Now, I don't know about you, but when stuff like that happens in Brett Darren Lawson's life, I'm not going to be persuaded to do anything other than what I know brought that dog back to life. And that's me believing that I am God and God is me. Not in a Hollywood fashion with the light boatings and the judging and destroying countries and all of that BS. But emitting love. That's all I did was emitted love to Roxy. And Roxy lived today. You'll see Roxy on some of my shorts this week. She is a living testimony. So, family, I've enjoyed this time with you. Thank you so much for being here with me. And realize that when you come out of the 3-dimensional conscious way of thinking and then emerge into the 5th-dimensional conscious way of thinking, there is no such thing as no. Had I settled for no when Roxy flatlined, Roxy wouldn't be here. Because I would have followed the traditional pattern of, oh, well, she's gone. She got carbon monoxide poisoning. Ain't nothing I can do. But that's not in my paradigm of belief anymore. Everything is yes. Everything, because I am the creator of my experience. Shotori be e chatai. Vukuri mini ano sotori bekete yike no kore bakate de bokuche. As you understand the formalities of what my son is speaking unto you even now, you say to yourself that this is only a performance. But I say to you that it is true as a result of what he have experienced in his own life. I have set this man aside, not having any influential with anybody else, not having an entourage of people that he has to be around, but just him. And I did that for the purpose of him being mainstream focused on me. And that's why he can talk with such confidence and understanding. And here's the rub to it. You can have all the doubt. You can have all the, the things that you may think that is maybe not politically correct to even think, but it doesn't matter with him because he's already been set aside and understand that I flow in his life. He's not where you are anymore. Your concept of thinking does not have any variance on him anymore. He loves me and I love him. Zoto ribina atai, zoto shikina la moko ribekete, yike no moko ribakosa, veke nada bakatata. The jealousy in which you experience in your life is your own personal conception of life. It is not because of something that someone else has done, but it's what you're battling inside of you. Your insecurities, you wishing that you could flow in this manner. But here's the rub, you can if you put aside every sin, every weight that so easily besets you to think the way you think. You don't have to be jealous of anyone. Realize that the things that you experience in your own personal life is your own creative thoughts. This man is not going to be moved by if he senses any type of imperfection in you. He's going to love you because I am in him. He understands where you are. And realize that. The same way that Yeshua told the scribes that you who are without fault throw the first rock at this prostitute. And they could not. Because all of them had slept with her anyway. Secretly paid her for service. This is the same concept in which I put before you even now. When you feel yourself being compelled to be negative towards an individual that has done you no harm, it is not the individual's problem. It is you battling with the conditions of your heart. And realize that. The days are over for anybody trying you, because there is no point of trying anyone. People that are secure within themselves will never feel or tell you that they feel a certain way how you talk or treat them. Those are only for the weak. Those are only for those that think that another has control over how one thinks. Shitoribe e nabaato viki yatayoko. For I have rivers in your deserts, and I produce bountiful fruit in your barren land, and I create an oasis in your dry places. I bring forth variety to your experience. And that is nothing that will keep me from you except you and your belief system. Trust in your inner being, because in your inner being is the real you. That little boy, that little girl that played in spite of the adults saying don't do this and don't do that, but you were so focused on being happy. That's who you need to remember. That was your true essence. Shetori bekina atori bekete, vike no mokuri bekesha. For I have places for you to go, people for you to see, and things for you to do in this experience you call life. And as you take hold of that knowledge, you shall be catapulted into the places where I have ordained for you to be. And you shall meet the people that I have ordained for you to meet. Trust in the stream of life, because in it you can't go wrong. So, family, thank you for being a part of my experience. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Until next time, have a blessed, prosperous day on purpose. Love you much.